Hi everyone, my name is Mike from Cheadle, and this video tutorial is going to be looking at ways to build up towards the full lotus position. So what I'm going to show you is just what I found useful in my experience and what I did to build up toward the full lotus, because like most people, my hips are not naturally loose. So when I first started to practice yoga, my knees were like all the way up here, and I've just found it so difficult just to sit initially, just cross-legged position. So I would recommend, if you're brand new, if you're an absolute beginner to yoga, is just getting comfortable just sitting simple cross-legged. So you might find that just doing this without any support could be quite difficult. So you can just use a block or anything that's just going to lift the sit bones, and just place that underneath, and you sit on the edge of the prop, and then that just allows the hips to go higher than the knees, which takes a lot of pressure off the knees and allows the hips to relax. So sitting like this is quite nice, or you can bring one foot in like this, and that's again a nice way just to get the hips nice and open. So I would recommend, if you're brand new to the practice, just to begin by sitting like this. Just when you're watching TV, try 5 to 10 minutes and have a rest, and then just see if you can do it again on a regular basis. So the thing is, you just need to get used to being in this cross-legged position to start. So once you've done that for a while, and you find that the hips start to open a little bit more, then you can work on what I would call like a baby half lotus, where you bring whichever foot in really. So I'm going to bring the left foot in, and then just try to place your foot onto the calf, and this allows you to open the ankle as well. So for a lot of people, it's not just the hips that are tight that stops them from doing half a full lotus, but it's also the ankle as well. So again, same thing, if you can hold it for about 3 or 5 minutes, and then have a rest, try it on the other side, try it out on a daily basis, just small but regular kind of efforts of this. So again, trying that, and then just switching over to the other side. So you can see I'm just putting the foot around the calf, no higher than that, slightly curl the toes up just to support the knee joint. And again, just make sure there's no strain there. You want to feel the movement opening from the hip rather than the knee joint. So again, you'll find, once you've done that for a while, again just sitting there, just allowing that to relax. Then the next stage is working on just a regular half lotus position. So again, this way you're trying to put the foot rather than onto the calf, more onto the thigh. So allowing that foot to rest, allowing the knee to relax down. And again, slightly curl the toes up. And just seeing how that feels. Just be mindful of any sensations of the knee joint. So you might find that initially you might only be able to hold this for a few breaths, and that's okay. Just make sure you can breathe slowly as you hold. So again, you do a little bit on this side, 3 minutes or 5 minutes if you've got the time, and you try it on the other side. So again, just gently supporting the foot and bringing it a little bit higher. So this is a nice way, again, just to get the hips a little bit more open in the regular half lotus position. And then once you get to the point where you can do quite a strong half lotus, what I mean by that, that's where you can bring the knees, you can slide them closer together. So when you can start to do this on both sides, where you see how my foot is past the thigh and the knees are quite close together, then you can start to work on more of the regular full lotus position. So there's different ways you can do this. Initially, what I used to do get into lotus for quite a while, where I used to lie down on my back and come into lotus from an inverted position. So kind of like this. When you lie down, you take your right foot onto the thigh, and from there, as you come up, you take your left foot around this way, and then gently come all the way up. Then you're in your full lotus position. So some people find it easier to come into this position from an inversion, just make sure that when you're doing that, that as you bring the foot across the knee, that it's not placed any strain onto the knee. So that's one way. So like I said, I did that for quite a long time, and then eventually you can just get used to doing it without having to do that just from sitting. So in the Ashtanga Vinyasa yoga method, you always put the right foot first and then the left foot. So in Ashtanga yoga, you always put the right foot, and again in a closed knee position as it's known as. And again, when you're attempting the full lotus, you want to make sure the knee is quite close in. If you're attempting the full lotus with your knee all the way out here, that probably means that your hip might not be loose enough to do it. You might have to revert back to do the two options that I showed. And then from there, carefully place the other foot round. So what you want to make sure is when you get to this point, as you bring the foot through, that there's no strain here at all. It should feel nice and comfortable. You've got a nice closed knee position. And from there, once you're in it, you can just work on again. You might find that initially when I first did this, just to hold for 5 or 10 breaths was more than enough. I could just feel it. It was so intense to hold. And then, just like anything, you progress that. You try and do 10 breaths, 15, and you progress it over the months. So eventually, you just get to a point where you can hold it for 15, 20, half an hour. You know, just holding, and it should feel okay to do. And again, you can just work on just tightening the lotus and just bringing the knees a little bit closer together. So these are just methods and ways that I found useful for developing my lotus position. Hope you found these hints and tips useful, and thank you very much for watching.